Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Karaoke Andy here. And it's my absolute honor and pleasure to be here with you one more time in Trader Tom's trading room. Let's start with the disclaimer. This is no financial advice. Trading involves risk, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Always conduct your own research before trading. This stream and its recording is for educational purposes only. This stream is governed by the stipulations set out on the website tradertom.com, tradertom.com/disclaimer. All right, so this is the first US session after the Al Brooks Macau event that Tom was visiting, and me as part of his entourage as well. So very happy to be here. So this is the Dow Jones. We're in a sizable gap down. We had a very weak EU session. DAX fell several hundred points, already being gap down. So I want to trade with you the espresso. I'm very sure I prepared here 2 boxes, but well, guess I have to do it again. Oh, something like 38 points. One above, one below. Oh. I don't know. That's $10, right? Okay. See, in the DAX in the morning, I did not use a fixed target for the espresso, but stayed in, and then it dropped nicely. But since then, should probably look at the DAX. See, we're in a sideways movement here. This line is, what is that? Is the low of roughly the 2nd of July. So trade it below that and above that, and now we're kind of somehow agreeing between buyers and sellers that that is the place to be, right? So probably also in anticipation what the US is doing. Well, 2 more minutes to go. Ooh. I don't know what happened here. It seemed that that box is gone away. Hey. So I might take quick profits. I'm not sure if I'm able to. I always try to screenshot the orders for the espresso, but I think it's easier to just try to replicate what I'm doing if you want to trade it. Right, this is the current 10-minute bar that will close when the Dow Jones opens. And we want to place a long order 38 points above the high and 38 points below the low, a short order. Yeah, use 100 point stop loss, shooting for 50 points or something like that. So I will put in the long order here, put in the short order. So I can take a screenshot, but that bar is still moving, right? So that means, ladies and gentlemen, I might need to adjust that anyway. Yeah, there you go. Ooh. Wow. Okay. I guess I have to just roll with it now. uh. So, that's it. Let's see. Why are the candle numbers starting? Okay. Maybe I should plugins. Okay. 15:30 p.m. Good. Okay.
Order filled.
Short the Dow. Short the Dow. Okay. Dow Jones 100. 100 points seems to be nothing. Oh.
Stop loss hit.
Fucking hell. And stopped out. Wow. That was the worst espresso I've ever seen. Look how it would have nicely worked in the Nasdaq. Nasdaq going for a gap close. It's just shooting up. Huh? So I will switch to the Karaoke Espresso. Oh, now I have too many. What happened here? Oh my god. Now all my little boxes are back. So Karaoke Espresso. Short order here. Long order there. Okay. Let's try that. So we'll try one more time. Fuck's sake, Nasdaq is just going up. And probably will likely close the gap. Just don't want to buy the Nasdaq on a hunch. I mean, wouldn't be the first time. So Maybe. Or there's this split view, huh? There you go. Oh, Trump post. Trump post. Under the smart zoom. That can't be. Okay, have to go to True Social, the real Donald Trump. Okay. Very positive, if he says so. Nobody knows how the market sees that, huh? Guys, I'm buying the Nasdaq here on a hunch. Buying the Nasdaq. Maybe don't do what I do. It's very volatile. So, edit 29,092.8. I'm the best president. Sorry, so we have 28 and 12.8. Stop loss. Believe. Don't want that big of a stop loss. I put it below the opening bar here, risking 130 points. So let's amend that right away. 28,963. Good. Okay. Why is this? Ah, okay. Okay, looks like we're gonna get filled in the Dow Jones index. Stock is retracing. Looked for a moment as if it would break higher, but now it looks like you get either a very deep retracement or a reversal. Almost got filled in the Dow Jones on the long side. Looks like we get some sellers who are not totally happy about the ideas of higher prices. So pushing the past bull bar. Actually, why is it still not numbered? I updated my version. It somehow should be numbers here. Maybe on the 3-minute chart there are no numbers. Ah, okay. So would be lovely if the Nasdaq would go into profit. There we go. Fill long in the Dow Jones. Dow Jones long again. Hope this time we will break higher. Edit 52,446. And stop loss is about 52,349.15. Okay. Oh. Oh. Have to be very careful here. This not really seems to be follow through. I'm deleting orders. So come on, Dow. Come on, Nasdaq. Come on, at least a gap fill. I'm putting my take profit there. So have to be treating carefully here. Stop loss in Nasdaq to 29,070.6. Oh, shoot. Dow is struggling and position is in negative. Nasdaq is also deflating. Is that close enough for a gap fill? Come on, there's 22 more points. Come on, Nasdaq. One more push. All we want. Okay. No. Okay. Not an easy session, ladies and gentlemen. I was used to, I traded a little bit the Asian markets and they really moved. The Hong Song and the Nikkei, they really move. Not so much the Aussie index though. I was just slow. And this morning also the DAX moved, believe it or not, like really. And now I have this stuff again. Look like buyers don't really want to commit. I think I want to get rid of my Dow Jones position here. Closing Dow for a scratch. Stop loss to break even in Nasdaq. To protect the capital a little bit, since we already had a loss on the espresso, right? Dow, are you telling me you're finally willing to accept higher prices? Okay, Nasdaq. Come on. No. I think I'm closing here for around 50 points. The Nasdaq close. So let's rather wait a little bit. Okay, now it wants to fill the gap. It's also a double top. Huh? Okay. Yeah. Probably the original target will be hit now. However, you can also see struggling here a little bit. In the 1 minute chart, you actually see 3 pushes higher, 3 legs. So the high of this one till here. So far, not that big of a difference. You see here you got 2 consecutive bear bars in the last, and then very little commitment of the bulls, and then just a push slightly above the old high. So in light of that, not too unhappy. It's just taking 50 points, offsetting a little bit the early loss. So the reason why I took it, I said on a hunch. Well, how shall I explain that? So you had a sizable 5 minute bar. Switch on. There. Right. A little bit of upper shadow here. So you had a second 5 minute bar whose body started where the previous one just stopped. So accepting a little bit higher, still a little bit upper shadow, but anyway, I bought that there. And obviously I was thinking that small gaps get filled usually quickly. Now, is that really a small gap or not? It's debatable. But we came pretty close, and close is sometimes close enough. 9 points or so difference. Yeah. Now the bears seem to be more in control. Either we see a pullback and then another push higher, or we have already reacted to this old high here, like a lower high double top. Both is possible. Can measure the pullback. It's pretty much 50%. Can't really snap to grid here because of that school run. 50% pullbacks is something that Tom looks a lot at. Now we're pulling back deeper. Closer to 60% retracement. Yeah. So sometimes close is close enough, and that can't seem to get that exactly there at the high. Let's wait for the school run. So if we would buy above here, we would buy overhead resistance, also magnet, like yesterday's close can act as such. Dow very indecisive, bulls a little bit more in control. Now the second 15-minute bar trades at the lower end of the previous body. Inside, confined within the perimeters of the first 15-minute bar. Al Brooks would have said inside bar. I know you guys are from the US and you all know Las Vegas. I only know it from Hollywood movies. I've never been there. But you know, I've been to Macau now. And you could say that the Chinese were building a, almost like a copy of Las Vegas there on an island next to Hong Kong. So full with casino hotels, right? Same thing. You have there one that looks like it could be in Paris. There was a miniature of the Eiffel Tower. There was one that looked like the Doge Palace in Venice in Italy. They had also those channels there with gondolas, and there was Big Ben and Houses of Parliament, and that hotel was called the Londoner, you know. So they had stuff like that. That was pretty amazing. So I don't gamble. So yeah, that's that. But they really designed those hotels that you don't need to leave them, right? They're ginormous hotels, very luxurious, everything in there. You know, a barber shop, shopping mall, restaurants, food courts, gym, beauty, spa facilities, everything that you just really can peacefully gamble and don't need to do anything else. Yeah. So, and one of those was also equipped as a conference hotel, and that's where Al Brooks event was. So there was Al Brooks, there were the two Tims of Al Brooks's team. One gentleman from California whose name I forgot, but he didn't trade. And of course, Tom was there, and I was part of Tom's entourage. They placed us in the back and had there some chairs for us. That was quite lovely, so we could sit there and also trade a little bit. Oh, listen, I did both. So, but I have to say, the Hong Song and the Nikkei, they really do move. If you live in that time zone, don't worry about European or US indices. Even trade the Asian ones. They're really wow. Looks like we get a more pronounced 15-minute bar. In the Dow Jones. There seems to be some issues with YouTube streaming. Maybe it's on my end. You might experience some buffering. Yeah. I got a new internet connection today. And it is supposed to be very, 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 very fast. But so far, it isn't. So far, it isn't. Maybe now it's better. So, inside bar, let's look at a lower time frame. That's what we had so far. Now more like trading range behavior. Yeah, can't call that a pullback anymore. That's very deep. No? So depending on the close here of the second 15-minute bar in the Nasdaq, if we close at the high above prior bar high, would very much like to be a buyer of the Nasdaq. However, we would fill the gap and be immediately buying into resistance. And the Dow Jones, to me, looks more like an anti-play because of the trading range behavior. I have the feeling if I sell short below, we might trade back into the range. Well, inside bar usually means anti. And after such a weak EU session and yesterday also being a weak day, maybe the markets are taking a breather, now insecure about what to do. I'm not a too clear close. Probably will want to buy the that was running away already. Buying the Dow Jones here, trying to trade the anti. Got a shit fill. Oh. 52,351. Stop for now is 52,251.1. 52,251. Okay. Have to watch it very closely. Because of course there is weakness in the market in a sizable gap down. That trading range, the market can break out of it. Will put my stop loss actually where my entry should have been. Okay, Nasdaq's coming down. The second 15-minute bar is not strong enough that I would buy below prior bar low. Okay. Let's try stop loss to break even in Dow Jones. Entry was shit anyways. Sorry about that. I don't know. There were 20, 30 something points on the table. Now it's deflating. I mean, we could get a bull close, no? At least one? Looks like there is more pull to the downside. You know what? I'm taking, I don't know, however much that was. I'm closing the Dow now. Dow closed. That was probably, I wanted 30. That was probably plus 25. Not eager to get chopped up in a trading range. And should that finally break, I rather want to be short. Slowly clawing back the points that we lost on the espresso. You will agree with me that this is not an easy session. Oh, look at that. Was unlucky with my entry, unlucky with my exit, and now there's even a little bit more activities from the bulls. There was certainly more points in there. But the ante seems to be the right thing to do. Wow. Was a good idea and horribly executed. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. I'm all thumbs today. I was just. Aye. All right. Oof. It's outrageous. let's just for fun. Let's see. Go on. My scratch trade was also minus 11 points. So, look. This where I entered. This where I exited. My entry should have been here. Probably, I don't know, 20 points lower. 21 points lower. And wanted to probably exit around here, but now look. Pushed all the way up there. Now the question is, shall we play an ante in the Nasdaq, or shall we play a regular school run? Make some sort of lower low double top behind us. And for all intents of purposes, we have filled the gap. But you see also the sell-off from Europe has been bought up again. And now the market is sort of indecisive. And neither buyers or sellers seem to be willing to commit to anything yet. Shall we trade the breakout above here? Yeah, sure, I think we can do that. I will put a buy order in the Nasdaq. Then we buy the high of the day at resistance. But we need to be a little bit crazy here. In the Dow Jones, I don't know. Seems to be still trading range behavior. I don't have too many mean reversion plays available. Nasdaq might want to break lower. We can try, but have to be careful on a traditional school run. Because it's well within the possibility of a pullback and a second leg up. Okay, just play it like that, traditional school run. Okay.
Order filled.
Okay, short the Nasdaq. And as I said, well within the possibilities of a pullback and second leg up. But we have to commit to something here. So we short the Nasdaq now on the school run short. Entry is 29,166. Stop loss is 20,955.3. Good. I believe. The Dow Jones in case it breaks. Not feeling this short really, but so far we're slightly in profit. We know the close price is above, right? We'll delete the long order. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so that's not a pullback anymore. We're either reversing that we're betting on, or we establish a trading range. So since we made higher lows here pre-market, however, need to be mindful of that. Now we're offside. Some selling pressure here, pushing the current 15-minute bar in the Dow Jones down. I will place a sell short order in the Dow Jones at the low of the current 15-minute bar, which is basically a school run shot, betting that it breaks.
Order filled.
And we're short the Dow Jones. Dow short. Oh. 52, 329.9. Stop loss is up there, 52,462.7. Put. Okay. Good. Closing the Dow. Closing the Nasdaq. Dow close. Nasdaq close. Plus, what was the other one? 50. I wanted 25. Got 42. Okay. So good. Reason is that well, it looks like we might get a second leg down in the Nasdaq. However, I'm still not convinced that this is continuation, rather demonstrating trading range behavior. However, as I'm saying that, the Dow is making new lows of the day, and Nasdaq is the 10th 5-minute bar trades at the upper third, but Dow is falling. So anyway, not the easiest session. I believe I made the money back. Let's answer some questions. Not so many questions here. Joe says, good European session, thanks. You're very welcome. If you have seen it, it was one of my better ones. A lot of points. So Bruno says, hey, nice to see you again on board, brother. Hope you're doing well. If it's not too much to ask, can you share your rules for Espresso, DAX and Dow? It's not too much to ask. Explain that for you once more, no problem. So the Espresso was it's a technique by Tom Hougaard, and he originally developed that I believe for the FTSE, but the idea is that you have, I don't know, 20% of days are trend days, right? So, and more or less, yeah. Well, that means 1 out of 5, but that means 4 out of 5 are not. So, and when you get that trend day, and it starts at one corner of the screen and ends in the opposite, right? You want to be in there as early as possible. And how do you do that? Well, if you wait for the school run in the first 30 minutes of a session, the market might have already moved away, right? So the Espresso is a tool designed by Tom to get on a move early. So, but it's an old tool. I sort of revived it a little bit. It was designed for a market that was trading much lower. Nowadays you need higher offset, so I was playing around with a little bit. That's maybe what I contributed to that, but it's definitely, genuinely Tom's technique. So I trade the Espresso on the 5-minute chart because around Christmas, Deutsche Börse, at least in the DAX, I do that on the 5-minute chart because Deutsche Börse changed the opening auction from 8:55 to 9 a.m. 9 a.m. would be the Frankfurt Open, right? So I bracket that I go long above, short below, with an offset of about 17 or 18 points. Yeah. I traded also in the Dow Jones. There I used double that offset, so something like 36, 37, 38. But there I use a 10-minute bar that closes when the Dow opens. Yeah. Yeah. Those are the rules. So and then I have what I call the Karaoke Espresso. I played around with the interval. So basically, what I did, I added 3 more minutes to the interval. That's why you saw me changing time frames. So I would have, now this is Central European summertime, right? 15:20 till 50:30, with 50:30 being the US Open. And now 3 minutes added to that in the Dow Jones. That would be the interval for the Karaoke Espresso. And there I only use an offset of maybe 2 or 3 points. Yeah. Long above, short below, classical breakout. All right, so you can also, I can refer you to the first video that I posted on Tom's channel where I was featured. There, Tom asked me to explain that, so that you find the same slides there. It's Wednesday, remember? Yeah, Wednesday is not my strongest day usually. Today was pretty good. Shinzi, as an Aussie, I will be happy to go out on a limb and say trading the ASX 200 is a waste of time and resources. Fucking thing is a snail. No volatility whatsoever. I noticed that it is slow. Everything besides some good Wi-Fi for streaming. Yeah, exactly. So they have everything in those hotels, just not good Wi-Fi. I tried to stream from my very fancy hotel room. Okay, so Bruce says that streaming stopped for a sec, but could be revived with just refreshing the site. All right. Russ says, we love the Japanese Nikkei. How good is the espresso on the Hong Song? Thanks to you highlighting it to me. You know, that Hong Song index, that moves crazy. I have no ways of backtesting that. But I can tell you, I made a lot of points with both the espresso and the school run, and I just fired from the hip, you know, following momentum. Because the thing falls and falls. What will you do? You just sell, right? Looks weak. Off she goes. So, Adrian, no problem with YouTube. All right. The other Kenyan, good trading session. Greetings from Kenya. Greetings from Prague, Czech Republic, my brother. Andi, a fail of the SRS in one direction, is your opinion always a good trade in the opposite? Trading range apart? There's some evidence to that, but I would have to look at concrete stats. Some were pointing that out. Here is a gentleman from Belarus. Anton, maybe? Hello, Andi. To me, it seems that espresso is a losing technique in current market regime. Almost always it triggers entry, order, and then immediately reverses. I already lost hundreds of dollars by trading this technique every day for a few months. I don't say it is generally bad, but it seems that espresso definitely doesn't work right now since markets are there. Yeah, well, what can I say? Depends also on the parameters, and yeah, there's a discretionary aspect to it. You know, I could have maybe not traded that today or closed it earlier or whatever, but hey. Sorry that it doesn't work so well. So, Nguyen C from China. Hi, sir. I'm a new trader who just joined the group. I was wondering what that number you shared in the group is that the profit per trade, that number there, that is, let me show you what the gentleman is talking about. So many here. Yeah, you know, in indexes, in stock indices, we don't call that pips, we call that points. That's the point count, right? So multiply that by your lot size, and then you have profits. Bruce forgot to say hi, Andy, before I ask my question. No worries. I rather, you know, I'm German. I have it straight and to the point. Okay, so you guys seem to be happy. No more questions. Then let me take a look here. And there she reversed up again. So was not the worst idea to take some profits. So far, both markets range bound. Yeah, it was a joke from the exactly. It was that gentleman who was just saying, "Hi, Andy. I have a question, Andy." Just say your question. All right. Anyways, was a pleasure being with you. I would probably stop trying to torture you with a range bound market. Maybe there will be a move later in the session. I've been streaming for an hour now. I believe it's all right if we close this one early. Thanks for tuning in. Karaoke Andy.